Hey everybody, welcome to Life with Sunny Lea, and it has been a very busy week. The weather has finally broke enough that I could get outside and get work done, and I pretty much did that. Sunday we went to church. A little disappointed Sunday. We're supposed to have a very important meeting and the person never showed up, and so it was a little disappointing. And then on Monday we went to town and vacuumed the stairway of the apartments and realized that it's about time to get the new carpet or get something done to those steps. So we spent the afternoon shopping around for material to put on top of those steps, either carpet or rubber tread or something. And then we started looking at awnings to see if we could price those, to see if we could protect those steps a little bit. So that's all the works. We don't know what's going to happen yet on that. We haven't made a final decision because we're waiting for estimates to come back. And then on that night, we did end up having that important meeting, and everything turned out fine for that, which was a big relief on my part. And basically, I could quit with the house for a little bit and actually start working outside. So on Tuesday, he mowed the grass here, and I worked in the greenhouses. Worked in the high greenhouse mainly for the first day. Weeded it all, checked the irrigation system, had to not replace but reconnect a couple of those. And I also transplanted some 42-day tomatoes, which I really like. They're kind of in between a cherry and a regular tomato. They're a little bit bigger than a cherry tomato, but not as big as a full-size tomato. And they're a determinate type of tomato, and they really did good for me last year, which was the first year I tried them. So hopefully we'll do fine this year. I also planted some gold brandywine tomatoes in there. And I sowed the sweet corn and the bush green beans. I sowed those in there. And then what else? Oh, straight 8 cucumbers. I also put those in to that greenhouse. And I rotated the pantry down in the basement. I've got that shelf completely done, and it was time to rotate the pantry and actually get it in a working order. So everything down there is labeled, so I should not have any more cans I find months later that should have been used like in 2022. Shouldn't find any more of those. On Wednesday, my husband mowed up at my mom's old place, and while he was doing that, I worked in the low greenhouse, and I weeded it completely, and I sowed 3 different types of kale. I'd done kale before, but I didn't have a watering system other than the irrigation system hooked up at the time, and I don't think they got enough water, so they didn't come up. And I also replanted the Swiss chard and planted more beets and turnips. I harvested the turnips that I had planted earlier, so I replanted turnips for the next time. And I sowed some celery seeds. The celery that I had upstairs, the mouse ate. Caught the mouse though. And I also sowed 2 different types of cucumbers in there. And let's see what else I did. Oh, I sowed some parsnips in the high greenhouse. And I sowed parsnips in there. This is the 3rd time I've sown them, but these are fresh seeds. So hopefully they will do well. And I did set up the watering system so I can water it with the hose, which does a lot better than the irrigation system. The irrigation system you have to leave run all day long, and we don't want to leave it go when we're not home, because for some reason, even with me tightening them up and with him tightening them up, they pop open every once in a while, and you have to go and you have to fix them. So it means like you have to constantly check to see if the connections have come apart. So it's so much easier just to go out in the morning, raise up the sides, water it with the hose, and be done with it. So I ran the hose. I have the hose ran into both greenhouses now. So all I have to do is just turn them on, and I can, and if I'm going to be out there working, then I can turn on the irrigation system and let it work. But I'm just not comfortable leaving the irrigation system on while we're not home or when we're not out there watching it. Let's see. On Thursday, I worked in the greenhouses again. Got a little bug bothering me. Started working in the herb house, and I moved out the chair that I had in there, put it out for the summer, and it's a double chair bench like it put out, and then I weeded the floor, and I took the compost and emptied it, poured the compost bin out so we can clean it really well, and we're gonna probably leave it out for the summer and just put it back in the winter time, since I needed the space in the herb house. We went to town and got some lumber for his project. Got a bee trap, a carpenter bee trap for the front porch, and also I picked up some onions sets. They're not really the dried onion sets, they were onion plants basically. So I picked up 3 different bunches of those and came home afterwards and planted 2.5 of those bunches. The other half I am going to put in the tomato trellis in the center between the high tomatoes, but I have to finish pulling the weeds out of it first and prepare that bed. Also, my sweet potato slips came, and so I put those in water so they can start perking up. It says to put them in water for a couple of days and then plant them. Friday we went to town and went to the gym. I did not do any gardening except for watering the greenhouses and opening them up. Saturday we put the shade cloth on the low greenhouse. I do not have a shade cloth for the high greenhouse, but I do have the one for the low, and I noticed immediately a big difference on the temperature. My phone went from high to low very, very quickly. So I got the shade cloth on and watered everything, left the chickens out, took care of the animals inside. I was going to put the cats out, but I ran out of time because we wanted to go see a movie, and so I figured the cats could stay in the garage another day. So we went to see The Accountant 2. Not the best movie in the world, not the worst. And then I came home, took care of the cats real quick, and then we went up to Dudleytown to listen to our neighbor sing. So it's been a very busy week, and I've got got all the garden inside the greenhouses planted except for the low greenhouse. I'm going to transplant the sweet peppers and the tomatoes, but I'm waiting until after Mother's Day to do both of those. In the high greenhouse, I'm going to put in the hot peppers yet, and the herb house I'll take out the herbs. And then on the outside garden, which I'm also waiting until after Mother's Day to plant, I'll finish planting the bush cucumbers and the okra and the po beans, and then of course the melons. Doing all those from seeds this year. Usually I have the melons started upstairs and transplant them. This year I'm just going to do them by seeds. So that's what I've got planned for this coming week. And also finish cleaning the basement. So remember, like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye everybody.